What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Profiling Passionate People. I'm your host, Salman Ladvinka, and today we're talking week 2 of Titans Talk on Tuesday on Profiling Passionate People, Triple T on Triple P on Tuesday. And as you can see, I got my Derrick Henry jersey on, and for those that didn't watch the game, I don't know where you guys were at, but whew, what a game, what a game, what a game. And being the diehard Titans fan that I am, it's hard seeing your team go through the ups and downs. And clearly last week against the Cardinals was not the showing that we had wanted. I know Vrabel and Byard and Julio and Derrick, all of them came out to say, like, hey, this isn't who we are. This isn't the identity of Tennessee Titans smash mouth football. And the fact that they came out with the win yesterday, honestly, it didn't even look possible that they were going to pull it out, but you got to have faith. And that's exactly what we did. So we kick it off in the first quarter. You know, we're just going back and forth with a couple field goals. Both teams came out very aggressive. Titans defense definitely came to play, which was good to see. So at the end of the first quarter, it was 3-3. Surprisingly, we took the lead with another field goal, and you give Russell Wilson too much time in that pocket and allow him to do his thing, he's eventually going to hit at least a moon ball. He hits Tyler Lockett. Lockett splits the defenders and takes off and does what Tyler Lockett does. And honestly, I know we're talking about the Titans, but Tyler Lockett is probably by far the most underrated wide receiver in the game today. So big shout out to him. He torched our defense for that play and a couple others during the game, but for the most part, I felt we kept him in check to an extent. And so, you go on later in the second quarter, Chris Carson got that 2-yard touchdown run, and what every Titans fan was probably feeling, I was sitting on the couch and my mind was just absolutely blown with that touchdown pass to Julio Jones. He got the right foot down. He got the left toe down. And that baloney rule about the heel needs to come down as well. He could have just toe tapped and got out of bounds to make it a secure touchdown. His heel did come down. And as we could clearly see, his heel was in bounds. And yet the NFL decided to take it away. Why? Because they like their Seahawks. Anyways, we settled for the field goal. It's 17-9 at that point. And sure enough, you leave Russell Wilson with 1:05 on the clock. I believe it was like 2 or 3 timeouts that he still had in his back pocket. Made the Titans pay, gave it to Chris Carson. Chris Carson ran right up the hole. And next thing you know, we're down 15 going into the third quarter. So, recapping the first quarter, Tannehill got blown up for yet another play. Got hit with that fumble. They recovered, got that great field position. So, right out of the gate in the first half, we just looked pretty lifeless. I felt that could have been a turning point with Julio not getting the touchdown because, we would have been up, what would have been 13? No, we still would have been down, but, going into halftime, probably 17-13 and only a 4-point game. Instead, we're going into halftime being down by 15 points. So we fast forward to the third quarter, both teams, definitely doing their thing, nice, good slugfest, good fist fight, dog fight out there. Derrick Henry does, hit the hole on the right-hand side. It gets stopped, and then he breaks it out for the opposite side and scores for that 9-yard touchdown. So we're right back into it, 24-16 at that point. Just really exciting. You can definitely feel that as a Titans fan, we may actually be able to pull this off. But of course, the beginning of the fourth quarter, almost 2 minutes in, defensive coverage decides to break down. And what do we have? We have a 68-yard touchdown from Russell Wilson to Freddie Swain. And next thing you know, our chances are probably, but as you can see, I got my Derrick Henry jersey on. You continue to feed the monster, feed the king, let him do his thing. And that's a thing that Shane Bowman, or whatever his name is, our offensive coordinator for the team, had mentioned last week, hey, we abandoned the run too early. He takes that on himself, but do not abandon the king. If we're the smash mouth football team that we claim that we are, and the king needs his 2K, and we're defined by what he does with the rock, give the man the ball. And what do you know? 51 seconds later, Derrick Henry busted out a 60-yard TD run. That's what you got to do. Give Derrick the ball and let him do his thing. Sure enough, we're coming down to the final wire. We stopped Russell Wilson on a couple times. Our defense definitely showed up in the second half. Only held them to that touchdown because it was a missed field goal. We held them to 6 points. Again, the Seahawks offense is very versatile, very dynamic, very high scoring, very high powered. And for our defense to only allow 6 points in the second half of the game, kudos to you guys. That's something we have not seen in at least for a year plus, where our defense can actually save us in the game. Yes, a tale of two halves for sure. But the fact that Tannehill led us, our defense led us, it was just really good seeing the team rallying to the ball, making sure that they're making the correct tackles, but our offense just vibed. Yes, Julio Jones had a great game. I'm so thankful to see, we got Julio 2.0 and Julio doing his thing, the future Hall of Famer that he is. A.J. Brown, tough game, but at the end of the day, everybody's got to pick up the slack, and this team definitely did. So we fast forward into that final drive. Tannehill just marching the team right down, hitting Jeremy McNichols, doing his thing right there on a lot of the check downs, and just setting this team up to tie this game. And when Derrick Henry hits the hole and scores for that 1-yard touchdown, I'm sure I'm not the only Titans fan that said, do you go for the tie with a kicker that you just brought in who has missed a field goal today? Or do you go for the win and attempt to hit Derrick Henry on a 2-yard run for a 2-point conversion? So we played it safe. Thankfully enough, we were able to get the field goal, and we forced overtime. And nobody loves more free overtime football than the nation. So now, it's a later game. Everyone's starting to tune in. Hey, we join in progress the end of the Titans and the Seahawks game. So Tennessee wins the ball. And I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to start marching down. We're going to start doing our thing. All right, we're kicking them the ball. It's not the end of the world. Our defense has been playing very strong in the second half. Let's make it happen. Sure enough, we are able to stop Russell Wilson. In my opinion, that was an absolute safety. I don't know where John Hussey was at. And John Hussey, I really hope you get a nice little tongue lashing from Roger Goodell or something, because your officiating and your crew was trash. Anyways, I'm just being biased because I'm a Titans fan. But you can clearly see that Julio Jones catch, his heel was clearly in upon further investigation. And you clearly see Russell Wilson starts scrambling in the end zone, trying to evade the defender, who I believe it was Simmons. And the fact that you call him dead at like the half-inch line, the dude is in the end zone. What are you doing? That should have been ball game right there. But anyways, they kick it with a punt. We get the ball back in great field position. Give the ball to Derrick. And what do we have? Derrick on the ground, 35 carries, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns. His day was done because we bring in Randy Bullock, and Randy Bullock finishes off for us, and we win 33-30. So again, 6 receptions, 128 yards for Julio Jones. Ryan Tannehill, other than that sack that he had where he lost the fumble for, 27-40, 347 yards. He had a couple of yards rushing as well, him pulling down the football. He had 4 attempts for 27 yards. But ultimately, this whole team, and then obviously getting Derrick Henry involved in your pass game. 6 catches, a career high for him, 55 yards. The dude had over 230 yards of all-purpose football. That's why he is nicknamed the King. Give the man the ball. So very excited, very great team win. Watching the highlights and watching what Vrabel said with the team in post game was definitely good. Derrick Henry just in the post game as well. We are the family. We are the product. We got to go get it done. And apparently there was no doubt in the locker room going into halftime that they couldn't get this done. Salute to you guys. Great game. We got our arch nemesis this upcoming weekend in the Indianapolis Colts. They're very banged up, but even as we've seen before, even with a banged up offense or just a banged up Indianapolis Colts team, they still come to play. And even though they're at 0-2, there would be nothing better for whoever's under center to get a W in Tennessee and still be a part of this AFC South that's being ran by the Titans and the Texans at a 1-1 record at the moment. So obviously, whether it's Jacob Eason starting, whether it's Carson Wentz with his 2 bad bum ankles, whether it's Sam Ehlinger under center, we got to get after the quarterback. We have to expose their offensive line that is riddled with injuries, and we need to make sure that we are continuing to wrap up and take down these receivers who it seems like it's only Pascal that's really their main threat. Michael Pittman really hasn't shown up. I love him, fight on. I've watched his career since he was in high school out here in SoCal, but at the end of the day, that 3-headed running back monster in Naheem Hines, Jonathan Taylor, and I believe Marlon Mack. But anyways, we got to shut that down. We got to expose their defense as the Rams did week 1, as the who did they play week 1? The Colts, the Seahawks, as both of those 2 high-flying offenses had exposed the Colts defense. We got to do the same. And I feel that we should be able to win this one. But again, me saying last week about the Seahawks beating us, I don't know. Of course, I'm going to be rooting for my Titans, whether we win or we lose, but hopefully we get a W. But until then, I'll be touching back with you guys next Tuesday on Titans Talk on Tuesday on Profiling Passionate People. Triple T on Triple P. Tighten up, baby. Catch you next week.